in your own experience, your life experience, and I know you've referred to this and talked about it in your books, or certainly the Embodied Enlightenment book that you actually gave a summary. Is that what you're talking about? This kind of moment in time, yeah, where you fell, or something ceased, something stopped, the activity that you've talked about, the mechanism. Is this what is this? It's just quite helpful for people to kind of almost put it into a framework of the human experience.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Thank you, Kavi, for that question. For me, it didn't happen by, if you like, following a teaching or a teacher, or understanding non-duality, or anything like that. I mean, there was some, obviously, spiritual exploration, in fact, a lot. But it was really when I realized for myself, or rather it sort of drew me in, was the path of surrender to what is. So plain and simple. And what is became a time of incredible solitude in my life. I mean, I was in the middle of a big city, so it wasn't like I was in a cave or something. So in that sense, it wasn't a complete solitude, but my personal life was one of aloneness. And in that aloneness, unexpectedly, a great terror arose. Now, from the personal self, that terror could have been seen as I am lonely, or I don't have any friends, or my husband left me, or, all these kind of narratives. But that stuff, if you like, had been processed and worked with and psychologized ad infinitum. So that wasn't the issue. I recognized a great terror of aloneness in existence itself. The experience of self is singular, yeah? Whether it's the experience of me or the experience of I, it is singular. Nobody else is having this experience as you, never will, yeah, never does. This is you, or you and life. There isn't anything else. Yeah, in that sense, we are born alone, we die alone, and we experience life alone. So there is an existential aloneness in that. And that brought up a great terror, and was energetically similar to the experience I had in childhood of falling asleep. But what I noticed, and this was the key point, what I noticed, and this only took like, I don't know, maybe a few minutes or something. What I noticed was, as that terror of being a tiny speck in the whole of existence, yeah, arose, I saw a movement. I saw a movement. I say movement in mind. I don't know where else to locate it, but it was a movement of self. In other words, wanting to run away from that, put that experience of infinite emptiness, the abyss, being, yeah, infinity, in a box, push it away and do something else. Do something else. Do something else in my mind, which I noticed how it would default to imagining, in some ways, a future time where there would be happiness. You know, this is very subtle. Yeah, it's not like I was sitting there doing a visualization. I just noticed the tendency, which is an avoidance of this moment, and this moment was the abyss. Yeah, or it would want to go and make a cup of tea. Yes, very English, but that's what it would habitually do. Again, nothing harmful in that, and sometimes we do want a cup of tea. But I noticed this movement, and that movement was experienced as both something very ancient, like it had happened for lifetimes, eons, and it was also noticed as not personal, personal and impersonal. This was the collective unconscious mechanism of ego, of self. Yeah, I didn't have names for it then. I'm describing something in retrospect. At the time, this was just an innocent experience, energetic experience. It was only later that I could put words to it. And in that noticing, something in me was willing to die. What does that mean? It saw, it felt, because of this ancient mechanism, this magnet, that this was the root of suffering, my suffering and collective suffering. And it was willing to give itself to the stop. It's not a tight stop. It's not a controlling stop. It's not positive thinking. It's not trying to be in the now. It's not even meditating. It was a death, just. And it was experienced as a death. This psychological self died. For a nano moment, I don't know, it felt like eternity. There was no self here. Now, I can only talk about it in retrospect. In the moment, if there's no self, then there's no self to talk about it. It vanished. All that was experienced was emptiness itself. And there was no one here to experience that emptiness. Of course, there's still a living form here. Yeah, the physical form doesn't die. And in that moment, perhaps it was the other side of that nano moment. I also, the emptiness merged into the totality. The no self became the totality of life. So there was nobody here located in time and space. I am nowhere. You can't locate me. And I am everywhere. That was a very visceral experience. I am life itself. Not I am having a life. Not I am experiencing life. But I am life itself. I and life are one. These are the phrases or insights or revelations that came. And then the ongoing living of that in curiosity, in nakedness, in innocence, it became a living reality.